Do it.
Do it.
We live.
We are live.
At VS Sports Talk Nation.
The sold out arena of the Brewster household. Guys, we're switching it up this week.
It's a COVID sold out arena.
Ooh, there you
COVID sold
go.
out arena. It can be one person. It's a sold out arena.
Yes. So
they got our drinks in hand.
Nice.
What is this? What do you even call
a
this?
little bit of a dreamsicle slushy. It's a lot of whole bit of deliciousness though.
Yeah, that's pretty dang good.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's good stuff.
It is, guys.
Man.
We're going it live Facebook this week. Appreciate the 2 viewers so far tuning in. I wonder if one of those are me and the other one's Miranda.
I don't know. Is there any way you even see?
I don't
Should be a
know.
way to see.
You guys want to comment maybe to us? I don't know.
How do you do this Facebook Live thing?
Guys, we are learning.
Uh,
Your viewers, click on your...
your view.
Don't leave, guys. We're getting ready to
Dude,
jump right into the recap.
I can't even tell. It's all good.
You guys can shoot a comment. Maybe we can see that, see who it is.
Yep, interactive
Hey,
is on.
hey.
Hey, Miranda, right
up?
there. What's up?
How you doing?
From the other room.
Social distancing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
keeping her at bay.
We have like an inch. It's fine. We've been tested multiple times. We've tested multiple times. It's fine.
For more than COVID.
Exactly. We're clear. We're clear. All right. So what do you think, man? What do you think? What do you think? Week 3. Let's do a week 3 recap. What's your takeaways from week 3?
Oh, so we'll just start out. First game of the week, Thursday night. You had Fitz Magic out dueling Minshew Mania.
Who would have thunk it?
I know, and
Man,
It
I
was-
don't know.
Look-
And we were all talking. Like I said, I was thinking Minshew is like legit.
I bought in on it. I started him. 9 points.
9 points. Yeah, let's look at the stats here.
Oh,
We'll
it was
compare.
bad, man.
They get a little Gardner Minshew. And 30 or 42, which isn't bad.
Right.
275 yards and a pick, no
Not bad.
touchdowns. So,
Right. Plus, he fumbled once.
Yeah.
Subtract 6 points from my score because of that.
Yeah, and then we'll go to Fitz Magic.
Fitz Magic.
He had a Minshew type day. 18 of 20,
160 yards,
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. And he had a rushing touchdown. He had 38 yards rushing.
That's what I think we were recording last week's video. We watched and he had like a rush. We were watching it at the same time. I was like, all right, Fitzpatrick's just gonna run all over the Jags. So
I think one of the other things that stood out to me was the running back usage for both teams.
oh yeah,
James Robinson ended up putting up like 30 fantasy points on us,
Yeah.
46 yards rushing
Only
on
had
11 carries.
4.2 average, 2 touchdowns, but he had 6 receptions and 6 targets, another 83.
It only happened because he was playing me. Because if he was playing any other user in my league, he wouldn't have got that. He wouldn't have. Because against me, I had 5 of my 8 offensive starters out. I'm throwing that out there. James Robinson lit me up for 30 points.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. I feel like the talent is there for him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if they continue to use him like the R1. LaVisca Chenault's there. He didn't have as many carries this past game, but he was getting 5 carries. I think they still
Yeah.
want to involve him in the running game.
I agree.
And then you'll have Raquel Armstead and
Yep.
Evan Ezigbo back, who they were very high on in training camp as
Yep.
well. So I like James Robinson's talent. It's just a question of usage to me.
Right.
I mean, if he continues to get these touches,
These catches.
whenever Ezigbo and Armstead come back,
Right.
he's relevant.
I agree.
But if those guys come in and take 7 or 8 carries apiece, that's 16 touches
Right.
gone from him.
And if he doesn't get the amount of catches, the receptions this past game that
Yeah,
he,
I mean,
he had.
well,
So-
and you look, Thompson had another 6 targets, 5 receptions. So
Yeah.
it's like 12 targets to running
Yep.
backs, 11 receptions.
Hey, Minshew was checking that. But Minshew, I'll be honest, crumbled under the pressure a little bit. I was a
Yeah.
little shocked when the Dolphins were blitzing him and hitting him. He had no response for that. Hurt my heart. I was in on Minshew Mania this week. I thought that he was going to come in and have a good game against the horrible Dolphins. But he didn't. And that one, I have to bite the bullet on because I was a firm believer. I ranked him pretty high, and he let us down.
Should have called BS in the comments.
BS
Didn't see it
now.
from anybody.
Straight up BS now.
All right, next up, you'll go over the tie. A tie game. How you tie?
That's horrible.
That's why I like baseball. You don't
Choking on
tie.
ice.
How you tie? Bengals, Philly, tie game. 23-23.
I don't know who looked worse, Carson Wentz or the Bengals offensive line.
Yikes.
Okay? The Bengals offensive line is straight do.
I call BS on the Bengals offensive line, being an NFL offensive line.
Carson Wentz, what happened to that guy? 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I think he needs Nick Foles backing him up to get that whatever that magic Nick Foles has on him. Carson Wentz used some of it because he's trash, man. Like,
he had 47 attempts, though. Wow. 225 yards. He had 4.8 yards per carry. That's running back yardage there.
I mean, look, I'm bound to get more yards than that out there throwing it. I mean, look, if
47 times. Sanders still had a good game.
he looks scared to me. Carson Wentz looks scared to play football right now.
Definitely not confident.
Do you know who doesn't look scared, though, out there on that football field? Big D Joe. Big Energy Joe, okay? He's out there
Big Energy
slicing
Joe.
and dicing. He's not afraid to get hit that heavy.
Hey, James is on. It's
Oh, Mr. Hinman.
Hit us with a comment, Hinman. What do you think? You in on Joe Burrow or not? Tell us.
He's a Tua fan. He's
Tua?
a Dolphin. Yeah.
Where's that
Yeah.
guy at? He ain't gonna play.
He isn't
Patrick's gonna play the whole year.
Fitz magic in the house, okay?
But
But
ain't gonna see a snap.
for the NFL to still be allowing ties, thank you, James. We appreciate you, buddy. But no, for the NFL to still be allowing ties in 2020, it's very fitting for 2020. But every other year, it should be out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over it.
Outlaw it.
All right, like
Get it out.
no more ties. There's no sport where ties should be allowed. This is ridiculous. Okay, I'm calling BS on the ties. Okay, straight BS.
BS on the ties. No
Bet-
more ties.
Burrow, buddy, all in on you. You're the hits you're taking, the leadership you're. See. Thank you, James. He hates ties, guys. Okay, so
hates ties. My
NFL.
man.
If you're watching BS Sports Talk, please get it together. Okay,
Yep.
no more ties.
Yep. You want to do what? Atlanta with another heartbreaker. Oh,
Could Atlanta do any worse? Okay, they collapse every game. I feel so bad for that team. I do, but
Feel
I
bad for
don't.
the fans
Yeah,
for
I feel
that
bad for the
team.
fans. The team, you're doing it to yourselves. Hello, Tammy. Thank you for tuning in. Jason Carroll, thank you for jumping on. Good set.
what's up?
But for me, Atlanta, that offense is explosive, but that defense is terrible. It's embarrassing what they're doing.
Garbage.
That onside kick 2 weeks ago? Like, guys, you're in the NFL.
They're
I
still
knew to
watching
dump
it.
on that ball.
They're still watching.
It's still spinning. You gave
Still
Dallas their
rolling
one win. Shame on you.
It is crazy. I think the biggest. I don't know what's worse. I mean, the defense still put up 30, but still with that offense, you got to think. Matt Ryan, all those receiving
Right.
weapons. I mean, Ridley had a nice game, but
Ridley's playing like the best wide receiver in the NFL this year. Him and DeAndre Hopkins, man, fire.
yeah, yep. So it's I don't know. I just feel like that offense was a big time. Like that 0-3.
Yeah, I mean, Gurley ran the ball pretty well, 80 yards. He had a touchdown.
5.7. Well,
Brian
that Hill.
yeah, sneaking a touchdown
They're
in
like,
there.
oh, Gurley, you're having 5.7 yards of carry, but let's get Hill in here, and you get the touchdown too.
I don't. Atlanta, get it together. If you need some defensive fill-ins,
Together.
I'm here. All right?
He's a free agent.
I'm a free agent.
Talk to his agent.
We'll get out there. Call the wife. See if I'm allowed to come down and play on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays. I'll be there.
Not Scott Boras, but Miranda Brewster. Get her. Hey,
Get a hold of her.
New
I'll
agent.
come play Atlanta.
one client, Tyler Brewster.
There
But
you go.
he's working real hard to get him signed. All right, let's go. Bills and Rams. What do you think there?
That was a great game, guys.
I'm happy just because my Rams wide receivers woke up. You got Cup and Woods who've been here or there. Both had 5+ receptions and a touchdown. So I'll take that.
I'll be honest. Last week, got a little bit of BS on them Bills and Josh Allen. Okay,
Oh.
I'm BSing myself.
Josh
The
Allen.
disrespect I put on that man's name.
Is he the
It
real
really
deal?
wasn't that much. I'm just gonna be honest. It wasn't that much. We were like ankle deep in poop. Okay, Josh Allen showed up, and Josh Allen balled out. Not only did he get him up big, okay, the Rams came back and took the lead with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, and then Josh Allen won a game-winning drive. He looks like he's something special.
311 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even rushing. He's been
Yeah.
known like, oh, he's a rusher. He had 4 attempts, 8 yards. So it was all passing.
But a
these
touchdown.
games. Yeah, and a touchdown. Can we just touch on that for a second? This is going to be my favorite. This is what I call BS on this year, NFL. You quarterbacks
Yeah,
stealing all these running backs' touchdowns.
it's okay.
I can't stand it. Kenyon Drake. Kyler Murray is the death of Kenyon Drake. I understand why you traded, got Kenyon Drake.
Yeah,
He was top 4 fantasy running back last year, last 8 games. This year, he is a lead blocker for Kyler Murray in the red zone.
Hey, maybe that's what he's best at.
That's a
okay?
wildcat. That's what Kyler Murray's best at. What do you think his passing stats are? We'll get to him in a second. It was not good. 3
Hey,
interceptions.
man, we got to back off baby Russell Wilson there, okay? 'Cause
Listen,
that's kind of...
no.
Ooh, Josh Allen MVP, JC. Ooh.
Hey.
Strong. I don't hate it. Like, how can you hate that call? I mean, Russell Wilson might have a case. Patrick Mahomes.
But Josh Allen, is going into week 4, he's in the conversation.
Nobody expected Josh Allen to be here. And if you tell me you did, I'm calling your BS. Because I don't think anybody expected Josh Allen to look like a top 5 quarterback this year in the NFL. And he
Looking
has.
good.
He looks. You added Stephon Diggs to that offense, and that's all you added.
Yep.
And Stephon Diggs, a lot of people faded him. That boy has balled out this year. John Brown's been phenomenal. Gabriel Davis is going to be good. Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley went over 100 yards again. He's had 5 plus receptions and has increased his yards every single one. Could you have 3? I don't know. That's pushing it. There might be BS, and I say, could you have 3 1,000-yard
I'm BSing
receivers
that,
there?
okay?
I don't know. But with the way 3 weeks looks, my goodness.
Josh Allen, impressive. How about Tom Brady bouncing back against Denver?
There you go.
I mean, now Denver's got a lot of injuries, so, you
True.
know. But Tom Brady almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions, which was, not nice to see because I'm not a Tampa Bay fan.
I like it. I say go Tom Brady.
1 and 2, you're saying
that.
Buffalo's 1 and 2 at best without Josh Allen? I say they're 0 and 3. But that's a good call
I
because
think Devin at 1 and 2, but yeah, possibly 0.
I don't think you could take half the league quarterbacks and put them on that team and they're where they're at with Josh Allen. That boy plays hard. He takes hits. He runs the ball.
Yeah.
He's a team player.
Especially with the lack. I mean, they really haven't leaned on the running game. Singletary had a decent week, but that's because Moss was out. They've
Yeah.
been splitting time. So,
James
Yeah.
Godwin's hurt again.
Ooh.
Again, man. It's another 2 to 3 weeks potentially. He's not practiced yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Godwin, but will the real Mike Evans please show up? 2 catches, 2 yards, 2 touchdowns. All right,
he's
look.
just a touchdown. I think he's had 10 receptions and 4 touchdowns on the year. So he is the touchdown go-to guy.
Yeah.
This still gets me. We have to have a breakout. Scotty Miller. I have him on my team. I've talked about him. I was even talking about him in the preseason
Yep.
where these injuries happened. He had 5 targets,
What?
3 receptions, 83 yards.
You want to trade with Corey, James?
We make a trade?
What are we doing, James? Hey, James, what's the trade? Run it by us. We'll tell you, and I
Yeah.
will give you my unbiased opinion.
You get the BS.
Corey's
sports
not
talk
tuning
opinion.
in. He isn't going to be tuning into this. So you send it to us. I'll let you know. I'll be honest about it, even though it could hurt me.
Yeah, we'll give the
Ooh.
honest BS sports take
Yep.
on that. But yeah, so I mean, Scotty Miller. I mean, like I said, I just don't understand how we're not getting the ball in that guy's hands. At
Yeah.
times, again, 3 receptions, 83 yards, 27.7
Gronk
yards.
finally had some catches and some yards. 6 catches, 48 yards. That's impressive.
Yeah.
For Gronk. What is he, 52 out there playing?
Yeah, and the Broncos are just destroyed by injuries.
Yeah,
so
so
there's not a lot to say.
I'm not going to go too crazy with Brady, but good to see you back, buddy. Not. I think 2 of the more impressive wins for me this week, Packers over Saints. Aaron Rodgers is just still out there doing the thing. I mean, that man, why'd you draft Jordan Love? Whatever it was. You fired him up. I appreciate it because I love watching Aaron Rodgers throw the ball.
Maybe that's their whole plan. They thought, what can we do? We can get another offensive weapon, or we can go ahead and try to get Aaron Rodgers' replacement.
Yep.
Have no intention of starting him, but maybe it's a win-win because you light a fire under Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
and then by the time he's done with his contract, hopefully,
Yeah, Jordan Love's ready to take it, kind of like they did with Brett Favre.
I like it.
How about Matthew Stafford keeping the Lions in the game?
I like Matthew Stafford.
I love Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford was on pace to be a top 5 quarterback last year for breaking his back.
Matthew Stafford statistically has been on pace to be one of the best statistical quarterbacks ever. But injuries are hurting him, plus he's on Detroit. Matthew Stafford is a gamer. He's a baller.
I think he's
tough.
super underrated.
Super underrated, and truthfully, Detroit's never... I mean, he does have Galladay now, and he has Marvin Jones now.
I think he looked better with Galladay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hawkinson.
Yeah,
looking
man.
good, another weapon.
If they can stay healthy, if once they click, I think a shortened off season's hurt a team like that because Stafford didn't play a part of last year.
Yep.
I love Matthew Stafford. I would take him on my teams right now. Put him on Denver. Put him on Washington. Let's go because I love some Matthew Stafford. He's phenomenal.
Yep.
I think the most impressive win of the week, the Chiefs dominated Baltimore.
I feel like the score doesn't even
No.
the score doesn't even do it justice.
No.
Yeah, 34-24, but if you were watching the game, you would have thought it was 54-20. I mean, it was just Mahomes looked scary comfortable and scary good.
I've watched a lot of football in my 30 years. Patrick Mahomes might be the best player I've ever seen. Okay?
He's good.
I'm throwing it out there.
He good.
He might be the best quarterback I've ever watched play football. And I do remember my Elway years, and I remember, Peyton Manning and prime Tom Brady.
Oh,
Brady,
that's a comment from Tammy saying, wasted in Detroit.
Yeah.
I agree,
Yeah.
Tammy. I agree.
Yes, that man could win Super Bowls on another team, but instead he's stuck in Detroit where he might win 4 games a year.
Yep.
The Ravens look bad. You're right. Lamar Jackson threw for under 100 yards. But if he has to throw a lot, man, he had 15 completions on 28 attempts.
3.5 yards.
97 yards.
That's
Okay?
yikes.
Lamar Jackson's got to bring it.
He did have 83 rush yards on 9 attempts, but, I mean, just the way that team's built, all the other running backs had barely over, they had, 12 carries?
Yep.
That team is built to run, and I think that's where it's tough when you put them in third and long or passing situations or you get them behind. That's where it is a struggle.
Because the other thing that I feel that Baltimore has failed to do is go out and get Lamar Jackson, a legitimate number 1 wide receiver. I think Marquise Brown's good. Hollywood Brown, I think he's good. He's not Tyreek Hill good.
No.
He's a speedster. He can run down the field. He dropped a wide open pass that was for like 30 yards. The Chiefs D, are they that good? I mean, so far, I don't know why I would question it. I mean, they went to bat with the Chargers, which now the Chargers aren't anything great.
Yeah.
But I think that the Chiefs defense, and even though they lost pieces, they look impressive.
Yeah.
But Lamar Jackson also, he was throwing some high passes. He looked rattled all night. I think, though, if you're going to beat the Chiefs, it has to be controlling the clock.
Yeah.
You have to run the ball 40 times. You have to keep Mahomes on the sideline.
And the problem is you have to keep them from scoring, and I don't know, especially the way they made that Baltimore defense look. I don't know. There's a team in the league that can stop them from scoring. They have so many weapons. Like, what are you going to do?
And it don't matter if you get a little bit of pressure on Mahomes. He's throwing cross-body behind the back, through his legs. He's not looking. The kid's phenomenal. He's worth every penny Kansas City paid him. Anybody who passed him up those first 10 picks, the Bears. I feel bad for you guys because Patrick Mahomes is the real deal. He's honestly keeps where he's at. And again, there was talks like this about Aaron Rodgers, and they still go on about the most arm talent we've ever seen. I think Patrick Mahomes is better than what I ever saw Aaron Rodgers play. And I think Aaron Rodgers is and was a phenomenal quarterback, but Mahomes is a different level.
You have Aaron Rodgers' talent or better with better weapons. Like that's what you're seeing. And then you add a layer to that mix.
Right.
You think Tyreek Hill, one of the best wide receivers in the game, and athletic.
Ooh.
You have Travis Kelce, one of the best tight ends in the game. They said you added a layer who's looked really good. I think he's legit. And
he's been a great compliment to. He's been a great compliment to what Kansas City does.
Receiving and running.
Joey. The Cowboys' D-line was terrible. The Cowboys' defense is terrible.
On the whole.
An entire thing, it's bad. You have some phenomenal talent on that team. On defense. Offense. Because you got Jalen Smith, you've got Diggs. That whole D-line should be phenomenal. The talent they have, Alden Smith, Lawrence. There's no reason Dallas should be that bad except for the fact they're Dallas, okay? And as long as Jerry Jones is there, and again, I'm not blaming him for the coaching, I just feel like there's a stigma there. And if Dallas is doing bad, people are happy. I'm happy. I'm a Washington fan. I'm happy. I don't want to see Dallas succeed. But I tell you what, here's my takeaway from that game most. Dak isn't winning the big ones. I don't give him credit for the Atlanta win. I give Atlanta's onside kick recovery team, or lack thereof, credit for that W. But the fact that Russell Wilson came out, 5 touchdowns. Are they going to pick up Earl Thomas? I don't know. They had internal talks at one point. Jerry Jones decided he wasn't the right fit at the right time. He just was talking to the Texans. They sent him home. A report that I read said he's just not a good teammate and he's not a good fit for most teams. I don't know that. I don't know the guy. But Earl Thomas has had some off-the-field issues. I don't know.
And I think it's with multiple teams, too. You've seen it.
The fact that Earl Thomas is as good as he is and he isn't on a roster and Baltimore cut him, so, it just... It kind of lets you know what you're expecting there. Like I don't know that he's a fit right now for people. But back to the Cowboys, if Dak Prescott wants that $40 million a year contract, which he isn't getting at this point in time, he might get franchise tagged again if he's lucky. He's got to start to win the big games, man. I think he's a good quarterback, but Russell Wilson throws 5 touchdowns, doesn't make any mistakes. And then on the other side of the field, you got Dak Prescott throwing 2 picks. I mean, Zeke dropped a lot of passes. Zeke didn't look like himself. They didn't get the running game going. I don't know what's going on in Dallas. I honestly don't like the fit of Mike McCarthy there.
I like McCarthy. I just think he's got to call the plays.
I agree. I think he needs to call the plays, but I don't. And I guess I'm going with the Zeke standpoint.
Yeah.
McCarthy has never ran an offense that suits a running back.
Yeah, but I mean, with that offense, I mean, from a fantasy perspective, and you want Zeke to get the ball, But I mean, whenever you got the likes of CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Gallup, I mean, with Dak, Dak can run. Dak's ran away. You're in 3 touchdowns the other game.
I think the Cowboys at this point in the season, 1-2, should be 0-3, are probably the most underachieving team in a long time because I felt like that team had a chance to dominate. Washington football team is still first place in that division because they beat the Eagles week 1. Cincinnati fans, what's up?
Said, with that talent, how Zeke at running back, those 3 wide receivers, Dak at quarterback, you should be looking like the Kansas City Chiefs.
And Dak is
maybe not as good, but you should be in the conversation.
But if you ask me, if you lined them up side by side, who has a better overall weaponry, I would pick Dallas's weapons. If you gave Mahomes Dallas's weapons, he's passing for 10,000 yards. That's an exaggeration.
10,000 yards, 1 season.
He's going to put up Madden
maybe
stats.
in 8 games. Who knows? Maybe.
Right. When I said exaggeration, I was underselling him there, okay? But Cooper's first-round pick. CeeDee Lamb's first-round pick. I mean,
Zeke.
Yes. Gallup looks phenomenal. Like,
it's tough. Again, I'm glad I'm not a Cowboys fan. It'd be a rough go for the Cowboys fan.
Glad I'm not a Cowboys fan.
All right, you want to go a little boomer bust?
Let's hop right into it. QB? Are we doing QBs?
Let's do QBs.
All right.
Look at these rankings.
Let's look at these. All right, so we've got
Russell Wilson at the 1
against Miami. Okay,
not going to argue that.
Absolutely,
no
not
BS.
calling BS.
No BS.
I hope they pick up Earl Thomas. I hope they. Well, no, I don't. I don't want them to pick up Earl Thomas, but I think it'd be the right move for Dallas. They need some veteran leadership in that secondary. They need a veteran presence. Honestly, losing Sean Lee, I think
That's
hurts
big.
the veteran presence on that side of the field.
Yep.
I think losing Leighton Vander Esch is really hurting them. Yeah. So QB boomer bust.
Man, the one that depending on what we saw, well, there were some injuries in that Washington defense. So the Washington defense looked good. They got Lamar Jackson at 2, but with the way Lamar Jackson looked,
Chase Young's not playing though. Kyler Murray ran all over us, so if Kyler Murray can do it, Lamar can do it better. Matt Ioannidis is out as well, torn bicep. My boy Chase Young has a groin injury. Y'all watch out, though, because that kid's the real deal. A bust for me this week. I'd like to see Cam Newton's ranked 10th on the road at Kansas City. If that defense could hold Lamar Jackson in check, I think Cam Newton is nowhere near on that level.
Yeah, I don't think Cam is getting close to that top 10.
Yeah.
If now, of course, it's been the year, Cam Newton will probably run for 5 touchdowns.
As soon as I call him out, he's like, "Hey, Tyler."
We're like, yeah, Cam Newton excited. He's like, no, I'm going to throw for 300 yards and touchdowns.
A boom candidate for me, you got Aaron Rodgers ranked number 7. Okay, now I know, higher than 7. He's playing Atlanta's defense. Yeah. Okay, I'm ranked QB 7 against Atlanta's defense. Right, let's get that out there.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers might finish the week QB 1. And look, when I've made these predictions, okay, it has failed these guys miserably. So don't share it to them. I apologize
don't tell anybody
ahead of time. I'm kind of a curse for these cats.
Yeah. Well, here's a good question. Kyler Murray at the number 5 spot against Carolina. What do you think about that?
Well, I just invested in Kyler Murray. He's my quarterback now in a couple leagues.
Why I asked you.
I think he has a chance to put up what he's been putting up, 25 to 30 points. Carolina's defense doesn't scare me.
Right.
Being that it's on the road, they did lose to Detroit, so they're going to look to bounce back.
With all those quarterbacks there, you think he's top 5 this week?
Ooh, no. I'd say he'll finish in between the 6 to 10 range.
I agree.
I think that you got to bump Aaron Rodgers up ahead of him.
Yep.
Matt Ryan against Green Bay is going to be interesting. Drew Brees had a nice week against Aaron Rodgers in that secondary.
Should be a high-scoring game.
It should be a very high-scoring game. Watch it end up being like 14 to 10, and then we're,
To be a defensive. Yeah, it's 3 field goals, 6-9.
Joe Burrow at 11 has a chance to be a boom. You saw what Fitzmagic did to him. They're open to being run on by a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Joe Burrow is playing Joe Nasty. He's doing a great job this year. I'm really enjoying it.
Line to block for him.
I mean, like I said, call me Cincinnati. I'm literally 2 hours up the road.
Here's what Ryan Fitzpatrick at 17.
Ooh, against Seattle.
He's
playing Seattle.
Yeah.
I think that Ryan Fitzpatrick has a really good chance to boom this week.
I agree. I think he's a definite. I mean, against Seattle, not been great against the pass.
Yeah.
They're going to have to pass the ball because Russell Wilson's going to throw 9 touchdowns.
Yep.
So, I think he's a big-time boom candidate there.
I think he has a top 12
Ryan Fitzpatrick, I start him if you have... Who else? Well, obviously you have Carson Wentz or somebody. I might start him over Brady.
I start him over Gardner this week.
Yeah.
Gardner on the road at Cincinnati. Now, I don't think Cincinnati's defense is on fire, but
Cincinnati's defense is on fire.
Nick Foles versus Phillip Rivers. Now, we'll get to Nick Foles here in a minute, but that's a decent matchup.
Hey, we can look here. What we got? Where are they ranked?
Yeah, way down the list.
Are they on the list?
Yeah, I don't think
both. Are they both out of the top?
Wow,
25?
they're neither one in the top 25 rankings. I think that's a little rude.
Yeah.
I think Nick Foles has a chance. All right, we'll just jump into it. Our fan question of the week was from Tammy Lovin. She asked what we thought about Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Look, he comes in, fourth quarter, throws 3 touchdowns, brings the Bears back to win the game.
Magic in his hands.
Nick Foles might not be the guy you start the season out with, but if you're finishing the season with him, you're on fire for some reason.
That's what it is. It's like even if you have some terrible quarter, Blake Bortles starting for you, like, no, Foles. Like, listen, you're going to sit until like week 6.
Just sit out a little bit.
And then we're going to the Super Bowl.
And then we will let you go.
Yeah.
Where are they on the list? Foles nor Phillip Rivers are listed in the top 25.
You have to go deep
real
into
deep
research.
Look, they got Jeff Driscoll ranked ahead of him, and he isn't even starting. So I don't know what ESPN's doing with their rankings, guys. But come on, ESPN, I'm calling BS on you.
Yeah, that is pretty bad.
Yeah,
they're not in there.
But I like Nick Foles. I like the weapons he has in Chicago. I like what he can do with that team. Jimmy Graham, like coming out of the fountain of youth. Yeah. I mean, that dude last week was great. First week had a good week. Yeah. I think the Bears can make some noise. Now, I think it's the Packers' division to win. I apologize. But for me, I think Nick Foles can really lead them to do well. Wild card spot, potentially. I could see it.
Yep. All right, we running backs?
Yeah, let's jump right into running backs. Let's
running
go.
backs, PP.
If you guys have anybody you want us to throw out there, or any opinions you want, throw them out there. Hey, James, I'm still waiting on that Corey trade you were talking about.
All right, what we got? They got Alvin Kamara at the 1. As much as that dude is catching the ball and scoring touchdowns, I don't have a problem with it at all.
So I'm going to call this dude out right now. All right? And I've called him out past 2 weeks. He's not running in top 10 potential. Josh Jacobs.
Been a bust every week.
Get on my top 5, boy. Come on.
He's just in that offense. He's just not a top 5
He's
guy.
getting touches, which is mind blowing. He's averaging like 3.7 yards this year. It's awful. I don't know what to do with that. If it wasn't for that 3 touchdown week, the first week, he's not scored since. I mean, his numbers are okay. He's getting 90 yards on 35 carries. It's really not quite that bad.
He wasn't too bad.
Is he battling an injury or not? He had a hip injury going into this game. He got a little bit banged up in the Saints game. Jalen Richard stole a touchdown from him. Devontae Booker had 3 for 31.
He still wasn't bad. He had 71. This is last week against the Patriots. 71 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. He did have 3 receptions with only 12 yards, but no touchdowns.
Right. I like him, and he runs the ball well. He is a conventional running back who sees hole, hits hole. He can make stuff happen. He is battling injuries, so maybe that's part of the problem. And I would say it would be more part of the problem, but he's still getting so much volume that I don't understand what the production isn't there for. Yeah. He's getting Derrick Henry type carries, 26 a game, or it's high up there.
Yeah.
But to have him ranked at number 5 going into Buffalo, they did give up 100 yards. I'm not a fan when there is a running back committee, and Jalen Richard and Devontae Booker are taking touches.
That was the main actually, it was the only reason I traded Josh Jacobs in my Dynasty League.
Yep.
Was because they signed Richard to a 2-year extension.
Yeah.
And they were talking about all this, we're going to get Jacobs more involved in the passing game.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it, and we haven't seen that yet so far.
Correct.
I was like, you're not going to sign a guy to a 2-year deal. I think it was like $5 million to not have him play.
Correct.
And he's a receiver back.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're going to get that guy the ball. So maybe when Richard leaves And I said Booker's there taking some touches as well, but
I think maybe when Josh Jacobs shows he can handle a full load without getting hurt, and I think that's part of the reason Gruden brought back a Jalen Richard and signed a Devontae Booker this offseason instead of just relying on. And they also brought in the likes of like Jeremy Hill. They were plugging running backs in for a minute. Theo Riddick. I think that maybe goes to show you with Gruden trying out so many different people. Is he also concerned about the wear and tear on a guy like Jacobs? I don't know, but
we'll see.
Oh, I got a love there. Hey, JC.
We'll take that. We'll take that. Let's see here. Austin Eckler had a day.
Oh, finally they threw him the ball.
About time you use the guy he's meant to be
used. Just stop that 20-some carry stuff, Anthony Lynn. Let's stop being cute. Anybody on the Chargers offense, in my opinion, fantasy value-wise, went up with Justin Herbert in over Tyrod Taylor. Taylor hurts the guys like Eckler and Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry. What do we have out of Eckler? 11 catches for 84 yards.
And a touchdown.
Any word on when the Titans-Steelers game will be? I saw a strong rumor. I was reading on Twitter. They're looking at, if it's not Monday night, they're looking at a Tuesday night game. So hopefully they keep those guys in the fantasy relevant mix. I say that they'll all be added back in. Like I know on ESPN they put all those guys on bye weeks between the Titans and the Steelers. From what I'm seeing, from everything I've been reading, they're leaning towards Tuesday night as long as the COVID tests come back and the cases don't. Because I know the Titans, I know that they were involved in the lockdown and stuff and not allowed in their facility, so they're just pushing it back as far as they can to get more adequate testing.
Yep. Like I said, I like with that Chargers offense, even though they didn't score a lot, they had the 2 touchdowns. That is the way that Chargers offense, I think, that's the way they ran it last week is the way it should be ran.
Yes.
Said Herbert, 330 yards, had a touchdown and a pick. Keenan Allen,
19 targets.
13 receptions, 132 yards. Eckler, again, 11 receptions on 11 targets, 84 yards. He did have the 12 rushes, 59 yards, and a touchdown. Kelly had 8 rushes, 43 yards. For that team to win, I think that's what they have to do.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't pull it off this week, they will score more touchdowns.
Yep.
The yards were there.
Yeah, I've honestly, Justin Herbert has impressed the crap out of me, man. That kid has been a stud so far.
Only going to get better.
He got hit. They took him out. Back in there next play. They called timeout. Boy was right back out there. Boy is balling. Yep. Your boy Keelan Allen putting in work, and he's putting in work with Justin Herbert. Come Tyrod, if they restart him, I'm fading Keenan Allen back out of the top 10 of the wide receiver category. But, man, for me, as long as Justin Herbert's in there, he saw 19 targets. That's more than what I do on Madden.
That's a lot.
Like, the boy was balling.
What do you think? They got your boy,
okay,
Jonathan Taylor at number 14. Against Chicago, too. Now, listen, I know you're big on him. This is why I want your take.
Yep.
Because you were saying, hey, you picked him. You said he was going to be running back 1 last week. Okay. I wasn't so sure. I called you on that.
You did.
And the usage wasn't there. Hines all of a sudden came back.
All right, what?
Took touches away. Instead of 25 attempts, I think it was like 15
Wilkins
attempts.
Got some touches.
Yeah. 9 touches, I think, for Wilkins.
So their head coach.
What is the plan in Indy?
I don't know, but I'm going to have to drive out there and find out. Because, look, I live close enough that if he keeps playing with my emotions like this with Jonathan Taylor, and he doesn't play in the fourth quarter when I projected him as running back 1, and I needed points from him, and you take him off on the goal line, look, stop playing with me, Frank Reich. No, just stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, Colts head coach. Stop it. Because Jonathan Taylor has the talent, right? Right now, I saw a mind-boggling stat. He's playing like 40% of the snaps. And he's still putting up fringe RB2, RB1 numbers. Yeah. Give that man the ball and stop playing with me. Stop it.
Hey, same scenario with Dobbins.
Stop it.
Dobbins looking amazing and like getting 4 touches a game, 5 touches a game.
Catching the ball really well, Dobbins.
Breaking off 40-yard runs, catching the ball, scoring touchdowns.
Yep.
Like, we'll give you like 3 touches.
Yeah.
It's like, especially when you're down, like, why not make it a point to get the ball in your playmaker's hands?
Yeah.
I understand it. But it's been that way with a lot of running backs this year.
T.Y. had a conversation with his grandma, said he was going to get his stuff right. I tell you what the problem is, Phillip Rivers, okay? T.Y. Hilton is a deep threat man. Okay?
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers can't throw that ball deep. He don't look like Peyton Manning when Peyton Manning was coming out and throwing ducks everywhere after he had his neck injury. But T.Y. Hilton, they need to find a way to get him involved. I don't know what's happening there. Honestly, I'm all in on Jonathan Taylor. That is my ride or die right now. But that offense is upsetting me. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's what they were built for. I think that's where I was so big on Nyheim Hines. Like nobody throws all the checkdowns to Eckler.
He getting a touchdown
and stuff.
He getting a touchdown, Earl.
Oh,
JT, give me a touchdown.
He gave you a touchdown. But
putting up 15 points, book it. Call BS on that if you don't like that. But he gave me 15 points this week. What up, Earl?
But will he continue? Is that more around realistic to expect from him, or are we expecting running back one numbers? I think, to me, if in an optimal world for that team in real life, I think you split it. I don't think you run Taylor as the bell cow. You know what I mean? You split time. Yeah, you split time between Taylor and Hines. Both talents. Give them both 15 touches apiece. Call it a day. That's what I see happening. Now, it might not, but that's just what I see
Somebody type BS in that chat on that atrocious take there, okay?
That's what I see. 15 touches apiece. Split it.
I'm sweating on that. That is somebody I liked here before we get too far away. Mike Davis, running back 13, I think has potential to boom, okay? Last week put up nice numbers. He's doing an adequate job in calf spot. Look, when I see him get 23, that lets me know calf was getting 50, okay? And that's upsetting for me.
Or is no, I'm not going to say.
Thank you, James. He is.
Calf is that good.
Calf is phenomenal. Let's what about your boy Kenyon Drake right there, number 12? What are we seeing there against?
He's
against Carolina.
The volume. It's just whenever they get inside the 30-yard line, it's the Kyler Murray show. Kenyon Drake runs the ball down the field, and then they get to the 30, and then he becomes a lead blocker, and Kyler Murray runs up the middle. That's what it is. They did a whole special on ESPN. So in real life, I guess. But if it's me and my star franchise quarterback, I ain't running that guy. I got Kenyon Drake. Hand the ball off to the dude. It worked last year for 8 games. It worked last year. So
he's sensitive, James. I'm passionate. I'm passionate.
Look, Earl. Look, Earl calling BS.
BS on both of you. That defense will eat them. What defense we talking about? What defense? That defense that just gave up all them points to Atlanta? What defense we talking about here?
What defense we talking about? All right, you got anybody else for running backs?
Boom, I like Kareem Hunt to have a better than number 18 week. Raheem Mostert 19. I don't know if he plays. He didn't practice. David Johnson's coming in at running back 21 against Minnesota. I think he could have a big day. That Houston offense needs to start clicking, and I don't know where it comes at.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know what they're doing.
And interesting, I think you got Gaskin at 25 against Seattle, but
that
the
boy
receptions,
touches the ball.
Yeah, I mean he had 25 touches last week, especially with the receiving end. I think they're going to use him a lot. I think he definitely outperforms 25 against Seattle.
Little Mr. Joe Mixon here coming in at number 11. This should be a week against this Jacksonville defense where he should boom. If he doesn't boom, again, somebody drive to Cincinnati and talk to Zach Taylor, see what's going on.
If he doesn't boom and if they don't win, we're doing open tryouts for offensive linemen in Cincinnati.
Yeah, absolutely. I will
sign him up.
I will throw my body in the way.
What was the movie with Mark Wahlberg?
The replacement? No, that replacement is Keanu Reeves. Yeah. Shane Falco's of the world up in here. What is that?
Unstoppable or something?
Maybe he's the wide receiver for the Eagles. Realistic that you could walk off the streets and play wide receiver for the Eagles right now.
But is that the case with Bengals offensive line?
Is James Robinson finishing, I'm going to assume Robinson, finishing top 10 running back for the season?
I don't know. I think the potential is there.
Yeah.
I think he has the talent to, but you got to look. You have, again, like we've already kind of touched on it, but you have Laviska Shenault who's going to take some carries.
Yeah.
And they're going to continue to use him more and more as a weapon. And then you still got to think Raquel Armstead and Devin Ozigbo, who they were big on in the preseason.
They thought Armstead was going to be their guy.
He was supposed to be the number
Invincible.
one.
Thank you, JC.
Yes,
you are clutch, bud.
Unstoppable, invincible, coming in. But yeah, I think with James Robinson, but if he would get the same usage he has now, I think that is a
realistic expectation.
Yeah, I would wait. I just have to wait and see when those other two running backs come back and see what they end up doing with Laviska Shenault.
He has to catch the ball, as much as he was. In order for James Robinson to have a top 10 year, Tanny was the truth, and look now. You're right. Ryan Tannehill's been phenomenal, but for James Robinson to be a top 10 running back this year, he has to catch the ball like he did last game. I don't know that he keeps it up.
Yeah.
If Gardner stays healthy, he took a lot of hits last game. He looked kind of flustered against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see his usage.
I think it's been like that for this year with running backs more than any other year I can remember. It's like there's so much talent at the running back position. All depends on usage.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You have Dobbins, who looks amazing, but gets 5 touches a game. You have Kenyon Drake, who, again, runs the ball 20 times, averages over 4 yards a carry, but they don't run him in the end zone. You have Jonathan Taylor, who, again, they give him 25 attempts one week and then 15 or less the next
It's ridiculous what they're doing with him, okay?
Yeah. So
taking him out the whole fourth quarter.
It's tough with running backs. I said, I'm just looking for... I almost picked up AP just before the fact he didn't have a great game last week, but he had 22 carries.
Just when I threw in the towel on Kerryon Johnson, he comes back last week and plays, and then now it's Adrian Peterson again. Make up your mind, Matt Patricia. You don't have to pretend to be Belichick because you're not.
The whole league is going Belichick when it comes to running back.
It's disgusting.
It's week to week. If you don't have like one of the top 5 guys, like the Derrick Henry, Zeke, Kamara, like those like for sure number 1 guys who are going to get 25 attempts, like other than those top 5 or 6 guys, it's almost a toss up. Like with Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, it could be either guy or both guys. You could have a 25-point fantasy football game, and then they could have an 8-point game.
It's crazy right now. I mean, you only have a few true workhorses in the NFL.
Tough to call.
Brandon, to get to Ryan Tannehill, man, they look good in Tennessee, and they don't have A.J. Brown right now. Jonnu Smith's look great. Corey Davis has looked great.
Corey Davis has come on.
Derrick Henry finally has a nice game.
You just feed the boy the
man.
ride.
I think Ryan Tannehill is the perfect fit for the Mike Vrabel scheme that he's running there in Tennessee. Miami probably didn't use him correctly, but I believe you guys had Adam Gase, and I don't think he knows how to use anything correctly. I'll be shocked if that boy knows how to put his key into an ignition and turn it on.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
That
guy is terrible. How is he still a head coach? Let's move on.
Move on.
Wide receiver, boom or bust.
Yeah.
Because how he has a career head coaching, I don't know.
Calvin Ridley at the 4 against Green Bay. I like it. Keep him there.
I don't.
You got Thomas at the 3. Questionable if he's going to play. He's been practicing.
Practice on a limited basis this week.
Yeah, missing time, limited in practice. Do you think he goes off for wide receiver 3 status?
No, I think he goes off for wide receiver 1 status if he comes back.
Wide receiver 1?
I did it. I'm cursing him. I apologize, Mike Thomas.
He didn't even look that great, I think. What was he doing?
Let's not talk about 3 for 17.
Games.
He was out second game, first game. It was rough. We're not going to talk about that.
Drew
Brees just looked rough. I think, look, I'm never fading Michael Thomas. He's going to be guarded by Jeff Okudah, Desmond Trufant, who he ate up when he was in Atlanta. Okudah had a nice pick last week. OH.
There you go.
I will never fade Michael Thomas. Calvin Ridley, number 4, also, God, until his volume goes down or he gets hurt,
like it.
He's a top 5 play every single week.
I like him.
Julio at 6. He's also questionable. Look, I love Julio. I'm not the person to talk to about Julio. I will sell the estate for Julio.
Slight bias.
I mean, it's like, if you thought I loved Jonathan Taylor.
I will bet the farm for Julio.
I will bet the farm. I traded Diggs for him and Cortland Sutton. Okay? So,
who we got? Let's see.
Anybody else here just like jumping off? I think.
Yeah, Keenan Allen at 12 against Tampa Bay. What do you think?
I like him higher because they're starting cornerback, weird name, Pumphrey. Oh, thank you, Tammy. Hi-oh.
Yeah.
They're starting cornerback who would cover their number 1s out. Interesting is they got DK and Tyler Lockett in the top 7.
Ooh.
I like it because they're playing Miami.
And the way they've been looking, man.
But
who's gonna stop them?
But if they get up big, are you risking keeping that?
I think that's what you're more afraid of with that offense.
Right.
It's not. Is the defense going to shut them down? Are they going to blow them out so bad?
Right.
That's just going to
You
run the
need
clock.
Miami to go toe-to-toe with them, and I don't know that Miami can.
Yeah, but Fitzpatrick's been looking good.
He has looked
against that
good.
defense.
Here is my boom of the week.
Boom of the week.
All right, look, guys. I call it. It falls on its face again. We'll blame Todd for not controlling me. Tyler Boyd's coming in at wide receiver 17. Okay?
Ooh.
I think against Jacksonville, he's got top 10, top 5 potential. I
would agree. I'm not going to go
if they stop wasting those targets to A.J. Green, and look, and I don't think A.J. Green's bad. He's just getting it back together. We're 3 games into the season. All you Bengals fans throwing the talent on A.J. Green, shame on all of you. Okay? Because A.J. Green might not be playing like he was or like he's capable of, but the man's been hurt. I'm a big fan of Tyler Boyd this week. I think he has a chance to go off. So let's go Tyler Boyd.
I think a big boom for me, Devontae Parker coming in at the 23 if he's healthy.
Ooh.
I think against that Seattle, Kevin Fitz, I think they get theirs. Again, they're going to have to throw the ball a lot.
Yep.
Seattle's going to be up big early. I think Parker definitely does better than
2
the
booms
20s.
for me also coming in at the 27 and 28 spot. Okay?
Fuller and
I have
Graham.
sold Fuller all year, but I think in order for that team to get off the ground, Will Fuller needs a big game. He needs to step up for Deshaun Watson. Let's stop leaving my man Watson hanging. Fuller's going to step up this week against Minnesota.
Randall Cobb came on a little bit last week.
Yeah, he needs it. And then I think, and it's just because Washington is always susceptible to the big play, Hollywood Brown, who I said could boom last week, did not boom last week because Lamar was off. Look, he's playing Washington.
All he needs is that big boom.
He's playing Washington.
Big boom play.
I love Washington football team. We give up big plays. Ronald Darby will cover him at some point. With Ronald Darby covering him, I'm wide open in the end zone as well. Okay? Yeah. Ronald Darby's not very good. Why we paid him, that's my fault because I traded for him on Madden, and I kind of cursed us with that.
What do you think of Michael Gallup against Cleveland? Had a big game last week. He's kind of been looking at the third option there the first couple games.
Michael Gallup's an interesting case for me because I think Michael Gallup has the potential to be their number one wide receiver. And that's saying something with CeeDee Lamb and with Amari Cooper. That being said...
Even McCarthy said that.
Yes. And Amari Cooper checked out of that game for a little bit, hurt. Then there was the weird kick off the defender's foot that he caught, ran for like 20 yards. I like Michael Gallup against Cleveland. I know Denzel Ward got banged up against Washington. Yeah.
Had 9 targets, 6 receptions, 138 yards, and a touchdown.
Led
the team in receiving.
My only problem, and the reason why I don't know that I'm like jumping off the charts with any Cowboy wide receiver this week, and it's just because I think they'll blow Cleveland out.
Yeah.
And then I think you'll see a lot of Zeke. They will feed him. They'll give him cereal. They'll give him tricks. They'll give him Fruity Pebbles. Whatever he needs, they're going to feed him. Because last game was rough. They need a win to go to 2-2.
With that being said, though, do you think Michael Gallup is coming in at the 34, or do you think he booms that? I think he booms that way over the 34.
I mean, I think he has a chance to go in the 20 range.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to in the 30s.
Right, no, I think that's a little disrespectful. I ain't going to lie.
In the 20s.
Because, say Denzel Ward plays and he shadows Cooper. Now, does Cleveland get Greedy back? Greedy Williams? That'll be interesting to see. AJ's getting old. Bring Burrow some young blood. They have John Ross. They have Alden Tate. Alden Tate's somebody I'd like to see Cincinnati learn to use more. Same way I'd like to see them learn how to use Joe Mixon.
Heard that. All right, what do you think? Is that good for the receivers? You got what you want?
I think so. Mike Evans, I think, has a chance to boom this week without Godwin. He had a great... T. Higgins is starting to be seen by Burrow. He came on last week. I will agree with that. I really was impressed by T. Higgins. He looked like what they drafted him to be. Touchdowns, 5 catches, I believe it was. I look for T. Higgins, if he can stay healthy, to have a nice role on that team because him and Burrow will find each other. Burrow's got some potential. That O-line just needs to be better. The defense hasn't looked completely terrible. Jesse Bates dropped that interception to seal that tie to be down. Randy Bullock could pull his calf and miss another field goal. For me, I like Burrow. I like Cincinnati's future. I still think they're better than Cleveland. But we'll see.
We'll see. All right, man, what do you think? We got anything else for the show?
Man, I don't know. You guys got any more questions for us?
Anybody, any other questions, fantasy football-wise? Any players you want to go over, fantasy football-wise? Any matchups, trade scenarios?
And then we'll hit our BS, not BS segment real fast before we leave the show.
Ooh.
Yep.
What are we going to do with BS, not BS?
So, right now, BS, not BS, your top 3 MVP candidates. Mahomes is 1 for me.
I like Mahomes.
Josh Allen, 2, Russell Wilson, 3, followed by Aaron Rodgers. I think it's disrespectful not to throw Aaron Rodgers on that list. True. I think the season he's having, the teams he's beating, he beat the Saints. That was a nice win. How Mahomes is just performing, beat the Ravens down. That defense is good. They were the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL before that game. They made Deshaun Watson look bad. And Patrick Mahomes just came out and showed you he's on another level. Josh Allen came out and proved any doubters wrong with that win over the Rams because the Rams are a legitimate team in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo, coming out of that in AFC East, I think Buffalo could end up scoring a top 2 spot, getting a bye this year in the playoffs.
There's potential.
For me, BS there, guys? Do they finish better than the Ravens?
Ooh,
I think so. Because I see the Ravens losing to Pittsburgh this year. I see that being a loss. Lamar kind of shocked me with how he didn't live up to the moment against. And look, it's one game. It's early in the season.
It isn't just a bad night. They really didn't have to throw the ball in their first couple games. It was all just a run game. So, I don't know. I think we'll see. I think it's too early
I want to call it a bad night, but to have a bad night when you're going up against arguably the guy that you compete with to be the number one player in the NFL, you can't have an off night.
Yeah, but you got to think you're going arguably against one of, if it not the best team in the NFL, especially when that defense is. If that defense is that good, they're the best team in the NFL.
But Baltimore was supposed to be that team.
I said we saw them against them.
Yeah.
So maybe we see. I don't know. I'm not giving up on them yet.
Why is it always a QB for MVP? My only thought to that would be is the QB impacts the game more as much as any other player on the field.
They touch the ball in almost every single play, whether it's handing it off. They make the decisions to
wins and losses are only counted on a quarterback's back. Yeah. Wins and losses you don't see on a running back, a wide receiver. You don't see it on any other statistical category. The only the only position in football that wins and losses count against is a quarterback.
Yeah.
They touch the offense. They touch the ball almost on offense 100% of the time. And look, if you come out and you have a Calvin Johnson who puts up 2,000 yards with trash thrown it to him, but you have to win. And I think at the end of the day, when teams are winning, it's led by a quarterback in today's NFL.
Yeah. There's not going to be any team that's going to be a really successful team without a good quarterback.
Right. And I don't know that we see a 2,000-yard back anymore.
Right.
Christian McCaffrey could be your argument last year that he could have got some MVP votes, but they lost. Like, they just don't win. And if you have a great running back, I mean, you have Zeke, who's probably never even been in an MVP conversation because the Cowboys just don't win. When you look at like the top three quarterbacks in the NFL, you're going to go Watson, Rodgers, or you're going to go Mahomes, Jackson, Rodgers, Watson, Allen. How many MVPs do you have between Mahomes, but Lamar and Rodgers? Like, it's just the position that gets the love.
Yeah,
they get the hate and they get the love.
But I think, again, when you see it more in college with the Heisman, you'll see running backs in there. But I think just the NFL and what the quarterback... In college, you could be a really successful team with not a great quarterback.
Correct.
NFL, I just don't... There's not a lot of Super Bowl teams out there without a great quarterback.
Right. You can have bad running backs. I mean, I'm not saying Damian Williams is bad, but look what the Chiefs did last year with Damian Williams, Darwin Thompson, and LaShawn McCoy.
Exactly. Yeah, I just think the quarterback position is just overall more valuable to the team, and I think that's why they always are in the consideration.
And with the way the NFL is played today, it's going to stay that way. The quarterback is the most valued position in sports.
Yep.
So that's just any BS or not BS takes for you, Todd. Like, do you have anything you want to call?
Me? Oh, man. I got to think. BS or no BS?
Tammy, thank you for the questions. Appreciate it. JC, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
We can go with right there. Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson finishes the season. He gets back into at least the MVP conversation. I don't know if he wins the MVP, but I'm going to say that by the end of the season, we're talking with him just as much as we're talking about.
I want to see Baltimore's schedule real fast. Let's just, if we can, let's see. What do we got coming up?
Let me see here. Let's go.
I agree with that. I don't think that you can fade Lamar too much. I do also agree that you could possibly go bad night. I hate to see it.
Yeah. But here, just the games you got: Washington, Cincinnati. You do got Pittsburgh.
You got Philly.
Then you got Indy, New England, Tennessee, Pitt again. But then Dallas, Cleveland, Jacksonville, Giants, and Cincy.
That's awful. Okay.
I think he turns it on in a big way. Second half of the season.
Wow, sure. I mean, he's going to get he's going to get tuned up on Washington. He's going to light us up. I'm not going to lie. Then he's got Cincinnati. Then he has Philly.
So I think with the defenses he's going to be facing, I think that he will be in that he's going to get his. He's going to produce. He'll be in the MVP conversation. I'm not going to lie.
I might have to back off my Buffalo getting the top 2 spot. I think with that schedule, that's despicable. That ain't even hard. Pittsburgh's defense ain't even look super sexy this year. I thought they'd come out on fire, lighting teams up, and they're just not. Yeah, I don't know. I agree with that. No BS right there. Lamar Jackson's got a very favorable schedule. So.
Yep.
All right, man. What do you think?
Else? I think that was good for the first live.
Yeah, guys, we're going to put this up on YouTube. We're going to post this as a podcast in case you missed it. We appreciate you guys tuning in, having fun with us tonight. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep bringing the drinks. We're going to keep having a good time.
Make sure you like us, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube. YouTube, when you subscribe, hit that little bell to give you notifications.
Yep.
Anytime we post a video. Again, if you're following us on Facebook, it should give you notification whenever we go live.
Make sure you're inviting your friends. Make sure you're inviting your family. Let's get the word out there. BS Sports.
Share it. Hit that share button on Facebook. Just click share.
Look, we'll be here at least once a week or better.
Just click share.
Let's get it going, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.